Something, guys. We're here for the season review. Yeah, man of champions out here. Let's not forget that. Yeah, we might not be Champions League champions, but man of champions. Yeah, I mean, all the rival fans are gonna want to take the shine away. Yeah, because they couldn't get their hands on one of these. Yeah, so their matter of cope is, well, you lost the Champions League final, mate. You know what I mean? 2-2s now. Yeah. When you got certain clubs that haven't won a league title in 13 years, when we've seen them in Champions League finals, they got dog walked. Yeah. The same set of fans that will criticize the way we played in the Champions League final. When these men open up, yeah, you have Liverpool fans trying to talk shit. But when you open up against Real Madrid, what happened? Yeah. Let's not forget Kiev in 2018 when you guys opened up. Yeah. When you guys tried to play, and look what happened to you. Yeah. And in the Champions League, you know what? I'm not going to get into that yet. Yeah, because we're going to get into the positives and everything like that first before I tear into you, man. Yeah, before I tear a hole in you, man. Yeah, pause. Yeah, we're going to talk about the stuff that we wanted to talk about. They're all getting it. Word to Darren Till. Yeah, word to Darren Till.
They're all getting it.
You know what I mean? Now that I know what we've left with now the shackles are off, yeah? Because I was holding back a little bit because I thought, well, we got a Champions League final coming up and, you know, I don't want to give everything and then if we win that, then, you know what I mean? But I know what the deal is now. You know what I mean? We've left the season with just that trophy there, the biggest, yeah? Now the shackles are off, yeah? Yeah, we're runners up in 2 cup finals. Yeah, it hurt. But in terms of like the Champions League, as the Laguna says, yeah, you can't miss what you've never had. So, you know, like you could rip into a virgin for never feeling what it's like to be in PUM, but it's still the effect is not the same as say somebody who's been in PUM before but is in a drought, and then you're saying, "Oh, at least I get some, mate." You know what I mean? So it's a bit different there. But yeah. Anyways, let's big up to Peppermint Freedom. Big up to FIFA 2K27. Monreal Arsenal champion. Rivals talking a bunch of nonsense. Trust fam. They're all on it now. 1 million London streets. I was there. A million of us. Yeah, I was down there as well. Rivals are going too far. It's beyond banter. It's pure hate. Okay, some of these people are sick. Trust me. Yeah, I was there too. So was YG. Big up to Warren. Big up to Rod as well. But yeah, the season review. So it's been a successful season. Yeah, league champions. Like let's not like be diverted into the fact that okay, we didn't land the Champions League alongside the Premier League. We didn't even land the Carabao Cup alongside the Premier League. Yeah, we landed that. Yeah. If it was an FA Cup, people would have a lot more to say. If it was just a Carabao Cup, people would have a lot more to say. Yeah? We landed that. Yeah? Man of champions out here. Yeah? Ain't nobody seen the streets of London like that before. Not even Carnival can pull that off. Yeah? All red city, red North London. Yeah? Held it down. Meanwhile, house parties go on. Well, from me, it's across the M62. House parties go on across the M62, and these men are chatting like it's big things. Yeah? The parade in North London wasn't even in no city centre. You know what I mean? But man was pre-talking shit, yeah, about the incoming Arsenal parade. But like I said, I'm gonna get into the portion where I'm tearing into all these rivals. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, when it comes to Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, Man United fans, or you're getting it. Yeah, As I said, they're all getting it. Word to
They're
down
all
till,
getting it.
and I said they're all getting it. Yeah. Don't think losing the Champions League final is gonna make man just be quiet. Might make man just hush. Yeah. And I'm gonna explain. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain why. If you give me the option next season to win either the Premier League or the Champions League, that why I'd still choose the Premier League. Yeah. I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into why. You're gonna hear why. Yeah. And I'm gonna explain why you feel the same, rival fans. I'm gonna explain why you feel the same. Because I've already explained, yeah, why nobody gives a shit about winning the Champions League if they won it already. They just care about trolling teams that have never won it. But I'm gonna get into that. But anyways, the parade settings, yeah, the parade was amazing. You know, but it's because I've been to Notting Hill Carnival and all that before. Nothing was really a surprise to me in terms of like you had people panicking when it came to getting through the crowds and stuff. Oh, it's too hot. You know what I mean? People getting claustrophobic. It's like, fam, have you not been to Notting Hill Carnival before? Like that was nothing to me. Yeah, it was annoying, a bit annoying, you know, because you know people are just, you know, everywhere and everything like that. But yeah, I managed to get footage, only a small bit of footage of when the bus came past. But I was too busy looking in my phone as I was recording because I'm trying to get through all the red flares. I'm trying to get through all them. In fact, I'm going to do it on this one. I'll show you guys in my photo library. Come on. So I'll show you guys. I dedicated a whole album to the parade and stuff. So yeah, let me just scroll down and yeah, I wouldn't say it was like absolutely, you know, in terms of the footage I got. It's let me hide that. So yeah, we're gonna get into this portion. I need to do that, but share screen, window, play the audio. So this. So this was at King's Cross, as you can see up there. This was when me and my brother were walking towards where it's happening. You know what I mean? I walked from King's Cross area to get to where I got to. It's not letting me. I thought I could just scroll from here. Turns out I can't. Cheers. Then just an image. Oh, that's a video. I won't play all the videos. I won't take up too much of your time. I'll play just like a few of them. So where I am now is where Angel Station is. Those of you who live down in London, you'll know where this is, what you're looking at right now. Angel Station's what is the area. I was from there. Yeah, I'm gonna cook these, man. I'm gonna cook these, man. I ain't gonna get straight into it. You know what I mean? We're gonna get into the good stuff. Yeah, the positive stuff. Good scene, the turnout parade, the 1.5 million in Sage. We are huge. It is. You know what I mean? That those blue twats across in Fulham, yeah, whose stadium is in Fulham, you think their posh ass ends could pull this off? You know what I mean? People out there be like, oh dear, the noise is too loud. You know what I mean? Couldn't do that in Chelsea. Won't have it. Not like this. You know what I mean? Be like that scene from what's it called? Is it Another Hood? Where the guy was where the guy says, I had a young woman come up to me and say, "Oi, my size." You know what I mean? That's what's going on over there. They ain't pulling this off. You know what I mean? Talk about pride of London. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? All ass clubs. Yeah, you won 2 Champions Leagues and you got some European heritage fam. You know what I mean? But you got players who would still value doing that for us. If we'd have won that Champions League on Saturday night, Kai Havertz getting that winner, you know, had it stayed 1-0. You know what I mean? He'd have been more proud of winning it for us than what he did when he won it for you guys. You know what I mean? Yeah, or something else.
I don't think about that way, no. You can't really. Huh? You can, it? You can't do that like Essex Road, that way. Or is it tracking away, actually?
They should have taken UCL off the bus, though. What do you mean? What do you mean you should have taken the Champions League off the bus? Yeah, 4 trophies, you know. That's what man like Mikel Arteta has done for us. And last time I was at Carnival, I was gassed. There was nothing been an anti-lockdown protests at their peak. True. Yeah, been at Carnival and Luton, Leeds Carnival. I've never been to Luton Carnival. I don't know what time of the year. I don't know when that is. I won't mind trying it though. Yeah, 25% session. As I said when I did the live stream, when I was live after the final, go look at the Carabao Cup final and go look at the Champions League final. You'll see this better. We played better in the Champions League final, but the theme was the same. Go along with the ball. Kai Havertz or someone wins the header, we lose the ball straight away. The opposition has all the possession in the world. Literally, that's why I said hoofball don't work. That's what we're doing. We couldn't play out from the back. And what did I say after the Carabao Cup final? I said, when we can't play out from the back, we are fucked. And yeah, it just seemed we didn't learn. Next season, very big chance to retain the league. It has to be. Arteta's the only manager that's won the Premier League now, in the Premier League. Currently. He has to clean up. You know what I mean? He has to clean up. You know what I mean? He has to clean up. We're the champions, yeah. Damn right. This is a video of this. Yeah, it is. You know what? I've got a bet with some of my Man United fan friends. One of them, you know, kicking down on the bet. But I put it on my story anyway. Yeah, I've got a bet for you. And I recommend every Arsenal fan who has a Man United fan, I recommend you do the same thing. Yeah. And the bet goes as follows. I've bet my Man United friends that Arsenal will win the Champions League before Man United get their hands on a Premier League or Champions League again. And if that happens, they have to wear one of my Arsenal shirts that's my name on the back, and they have to advertise my YouTube channel. I have to set the image as a profile picture on all their social platforms. But should Man United win the Premier League or Champions League before Arsenal win the Champions League, I will wear one of their Man United shirts of choice on my live stream the next time I live stream from losing that bet. Yeah? Now, this should be pretty easy. Man United got Champions League heritage. Yeah? Man United got the most league titles. This should be the easiest thing in the world. Arsenal, bottlers, Champions of Europe, never seen that. Should be the easiest thing in the world. A Man United fan should bite your hand off for that bet, knowing from his point of view or her point of view, Arsenal will never win the Champions League. So this will be easy. We will easily, as Man United fans, get our hands on a Premier League or Champions League. That's what you think they think, wouldn't you? But there are some that genuinely do believe, oh shit, it might be coming soon. So they might not put that down. But that's my bet. Yeah? Let's see how confident United fans are in their own club. Because nothing's to say Carrick can't win the Premier League or the Champions League next season. He might do a slot, for all we know. But this whole thing about Arsenal in 140 years, you know, haven't won the Champions League, it's been 140 years. You need to cut that shit out. You need to cut that shit out. Yeah? Because the Champions League didn't exist for 140 fucking years, fools. The Champions League started in what? 1960s? 1960. But you see how people like to adjust things just to make the number sound large, just to shit on Arsenal. It's a very Man United thing to do. They were the OGs of doing that. That's why they came up with the whole, well, you've won 4 Premier Leagues, we've won 13, mate. You know what I mean? They did that. They started that shit. You know what I mean? They've used it against Liverpool fans. To be honest, I've done it myself. That's only because I go by so-and-so's logic. You know what I mean? I'm in the West, I didn't like what West London club Chelsea represents, so kept well away. And they call themselves the Pride of London, you know. Absolute scumbags. You know what I mean? So I'm walking. Hold on a minute. Oh, that's why. He changed on me. Yeah. Wait a minute. What do you mean they had the trophy on the buses along with the Premier League trophy?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
I only saw the Premier League trophy. The Premier League trophy was the only trophy that was on the bus. It was kind of blunt, but you could see it at the front of the bus was trophy paintings. It's a special picture. It's in May, but I can't remember. Ain't been there. They painted big ears on the bus. I bagged the body and missed 25% possession. Our fans want us to be sad so bad they do. You know what I mean? Castellans. I didn't watch none of his shit. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? Lee ran rings around rants. What, on the stream that I did the reaction to, or a recent stream? Yeah, I'm confident at some point we'll win the Champions League in the next few years. I've seen enough. Told people that was our Chelsea 2008 Moscow moment. Like, the more I've calmed down, the more I tend to believe, okay, you know, we are going in the right direction. And it probably might be a case of, you know, Chelsea lost the Champions League the first time of asking, they came back and then won it. You know what I mean? We've seen Man City lose the Champions League final and came back. Seen Liverpool lose Champions League finals. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So we'll have to see. Next year, yeah, it's in Atletico Madrid Stadium. Same stadium Tottenham lost in their final to Liverpool. Conte will seriously strengthen the squad. He has to do. Big up to Zabi. He has to do. Only started in the 1950s. This is what I mean. Where are they going with 140 years? I mean, it took as long as what it took from the point of when it started. You know what I mean? From the first, what? Not even 100 years yet. Arsenal couldn't win the Champions League. From 1950s, I think it was 53 or something, wasn't it? Was it 1953 or something? We didn't play in the European Cup until 1971. Because we were dog shit throughout the 60s. We had no way of getting in there. Because we were doing nothing. September 1971 was our debut in the European Cup. Yeah? And it's not like we're in it every single season. One thing I will say, though, is in the late 80s, early 90s, we were robbed of the chance of trying to win it. Yeah, so was Everton. Thanks to Liverpool fans. You know, those classic fans. You know what I mean? The OGs, yeah? The OGs of causing disaster within football fans. English football fans. You know, the fuckers that got England clubs banned from Europe. PSV won the Champions League in 1988. That could have been Everton for all we know. They won the title in 87. You know what I mean? We were robbed of a chance of winning the Champions League in 1990. It's in line with it. You know what I mean? Who's to say George Graham might not have won Arsenal the European Cup, I should say, back then? Now, I'm not saying that that's an excuse. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? There was a period where if Arsenal were going to potentially win a European Cup outside of, you know, the Wenger days, you know, the hotspot would have been the late 80s or early 90s, would have been that point. So I'm not trying to use it as it's because of Liverpool we haven't won one. I ain't doing none of that. I mean, mid 50s. It's feeding us energy. Trust me, it is, and it's going through to the players as well. 226 European Cup Champions League games and no trophy, the most games of any European club. Yeah, it's disgraceful. It's embarrassing, and it's a disgrace.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. Disgrace. That's what it is. That's what disgrace. A disgrace.
We don't know. We look at one of those guys rants like 10 years old last time. This is the thing. I mean, at front of Parade Bus was painted trophies. I must have missed it then. Look at the front of the bus. UCL was painted next to the Premier League trophy. Hang on, now you're making me now I need to see this.
I couldn't defend us finishing 8th in the table.
Oops. I need to see this now. Right. Answer's Instagram's here. Are you telling me this is something I never noticed? Because I'm looking at an image here. Oh, no, that's the ladies' bus. Ours. I see it say champions. I don't see anything about Champions League. I saw it say champions on it. That's what I've been seeing. That's what I saw. No, they didn't. It was a AI pick of the Champions League Cup of for the bait. Right. I'm gonna say I never. I'm gonna say I never saw none of that. You know what I mean? I've had laser eye surgery. I'm hoping I'm not going blind. You go over to something because Arsenal both our club. The hate runs deep. The hate runs with so much depth. It's mad. Yeah. That's one of my selfie videos.
Dad!
9819 would have won it under Graham. I'm gonna need to change some mods so that people have permission to put comments on the screen for me, because I can't keep up with them all. I can't keep up with them all. But let me go straight to when the bus went past. From what I saw, I'll show you what I saw when that happened. Yeah, here we are. This is what I saw. This is what I could see. So yeah, that's why I got. That's what I got from it. Obviously, I've got more footage of being at the parade and stuff like that, but that's the area I was in predominantly, which was where the flight club is in Islington. That's where it was. Was it? I saw a video mention what I saw. It was a video. Memories, innit? I know. I was struggling when I was recording it, I was thinking, okay, the players' bus is which? You know what I mean? But I managed to see. What's going on in here? You man arguing. Anyways, you man are arguing in here. But yeah, let's just go off the season review. So obviously, the start of the season. Let's go back to where I was beginning of last season. I never had us in a title race. You guys know this, yeah. You heard me say it on my streams, yeah.
I've seen him do it.
I said back in August, we'll be out the title race by bonfire night. You guys remember me saying that?
I've seen him do it.
I had no faith that this manager would be able to get us back into a title race after finishing second 3 times on the spin. Knowing Man City were going to come back and be stronger and everything like that, and knowing that Liverpool, for all we know, could be the next ones up because, you know, they just won the league randomly the season before, last now. And, you know, but with the signings that we made, it was like, well, surely we're going to win something. I did say at the start of the season, whichever club Gyökeres goes to is winning a trophy in his debut season. Happens to be with us. Yeah, man. Anyways. And yeah, I never had us. I can't remember where I said we finished, but I said we wouldn't be in the title race by bonfire night. I said we'll be out of it. And gladly, I was proven wrong. And then we went on a mad October run where we kept clean sheets. We kept 8 clean sheets in a row or something like that in all comps, which was mad in itself. And things were looking good, but the football wasn't looking good, though. That's the thing. The football wasn't looking good. And especially when you start off at Anfield, we went there and set up so negative. I knew more of that was going to come this season. If he's going to set up like that at Anfield, what's he going to do at the Etihad? What's he going to do here? What's he going to do there? But we had a mad October after that. And November came round. Business as usual. I think we beat Bayern Munich. It was in November. Obviously, we smoked Spurs, you know, but you know how it is when we play Spurs. I mean, it is what it is. And then Sunderland came round. And I think I had us down to win that game. And I thought to myself, you know what I mean? When you get these small clubs, yeah, because yes, I'm taking aim at everyone. When you get these small clubs that do 2-2 bit of summer, when Arsenal come to town, we tend to end their unbeaten runs. And we almost did it. But then we conceded a late goal in the 90+ some minute. And then it was, you know, we drew. And by this point, rival fans started twerking for Man City because Liverpool started being shit. And so they started twerking for Man City, talk about City Pool and all that shit. And yeah, that's so Liverpool started their twerking for Man City around end of October time. Yeah. It was definitely in November. They started their twerking. Yeah. Man United, well, you know, they started their twerking from early because they were doing shit. Yeah. Chelsea fans, they were the only ones that were thinking to themselves, no, we could take Arsenal. We could win the league. We could finish above them at the very minimum. Yeah, because anytime these clubs were talking about us, yeah, they were talking about just being better than us, but they weren't talking about being better than Man City. Yeah? All right, if Man City are top of the league, which we've seen seasons where City are top of the league, but rivals are focusing on being ahead of us. Yeah? If Man City were top of the league all season last season, and we were chilling second, your Chelseas, your Man Uniteds, your Liverpools will be talking about trying to get above Arsenal, and that's their problem. Yeah, they should be lucky that their club doesn't have the mindset that they do. Yeah, because that's what Spurs is right now. Yeah. Then we played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea fans were giving it. Talking about, oh, our team's better than yours. Reece James is better than Rice, mate. I mean, first of all, it was about Reece James versus Timber. Then the goalpost shifted to Rice after Reece James, putting a decent performance in midfield against us at Stamford Bridge. When the beat is 1-1. Yeah. So the stopped the Caicedo Rice team and moved over to Reece James against Rice when it was supposed to be Reece James versus Timber. And then when Chelsea got snapped back into reality, then they started working for City about January time. You know what I mean? They went from title contenders to title pretenders. Yeah? November into December. But yeah, we obviously lost that against Aston Villa away from home from a late goal, 90+ Summit goal. And yeah, it was another tough away game that we didn't win, which was concerning. But we started the year pretty strong, really. I mean, we did beat Aston Villa at the end of last year. We smoked them 4-1. And then we got a good win against Bournemouth. That win is probably one of the standouts for me this season, away from home. Yeah, to go and beat Bournemouth 3-2. Especially at the beginning of the year. Now, that's probably a bit of a standout of a win, that. You know what I mean? Obviously, FA Cup came round. We beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final. They'd already given up at this point. They're already giving up. They were on the verge of, let me twerk for Man City now. Only Man City can stop these men now. You know what I mean? Begging Man City back in the title race. But I can't blame Chelsea fans because it's a London club. Yeah, but when I'm seeing your Liverpools and your Man Uniteds, I'm thinking, nah. You man should have been Spurs fans at this point. Yeah. We then lose to Man United at home. A game, in all fairness, really deep down, I didn't really believe we were going to win it, but I was masking over my negativity because I didn't want to be negative. So I put it to the 2-1 win for us, I think it was. But deep down, I didn't really believe we were going to beat him. And yeah, we lost from at home. And basically, that was the trophy that Man United won this season. Besides Bruno getting 21 assists, because their attempt at trying to get 21 league titles failed miserably. So the only 21 they had to sell for was Bruno's assists. Yeah. And yeah, February, we clinched our way into the Carabao Cup final, because Chelsea couldn't do shit against us. During that period, we had to play Wolves, which was game week 31. We had to play it early. And yeah, we drew away at Wolves. And I thought from that point, I even said on my fatality, thing that I do on Instagram, I even said congratulations, City, because I thought this was just another slip up from us. But yeah, fast forward into March, the Champions League comes around. Everything's looking good. We got a good win against Everton before the Carabao Cup final. We beat Leverkusen to go through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And everything was all good. And I believed at that point, we are going to win the Carabao Cup. I believed. I said, I think we'll win it. And because of that, I think we'll win the league because we won the Carabao Cup. But I don't think we'll win the league if we don't win the Carabao Cup. That's what I said. Yeah? You guys there, man. You guys there. I've seen him do it. Then the Carabao Cup comes around, doesn't it? And what happens? We play hoofball because we've been prevented from playing out from the back. We start playing hoofball. Didn't work. Yeah. Got caught. Kepa got caught out with, the cross. He dropped it. And O'Reilly scored the brace. Man City win their first trophy of the season. Then after that, we get kicked out of the FA Cup by Southampton. Then we lose in the league to Bournemouth. And then we lose in the league to Man City. And it's like, see, the capitulation's here. But credit to this guy. Yeah. He identified what was going on. And he did make changes, bringing Skelly in midfield, which he should have done from time ago anyway. You know what I mean? And he seemed to have found a starting 11 that kind of works to a point of where he essentially brought October into May, which was what I was asking for and which is what I said the whole time. Yeah. If I see this in May, April, May, I think we'll win the league. And it got to a point where, yeah, I'm starting to see shit now. You know what I mean? We then got to a Champions League final. Yeah. First in 20 years. And it was like, yeah, I'm seeing it now. Yeah. Then we go and wrap this league up. Yeah. By beating Burnley. Man like King Kai with a goal. And yeah, Man City go and bottle the league, don't they? Unlucky. They went and bottled the league by drawing away from home to Bournemouth. The team that we beat at Bournemouth. And the title's ours. So all we had left was the Champions League. Because City had just won the FA Cup. And yeah, we had the Champions League final. And yeah, unfortunately we didn't win that. Which, it's not the end of the world. We pushed PSG all the way to the end. Yeah. I mean, you got Chelsea bragging, oh, we beat them 3-0, mate. You know what I mean? Okay, you beat him 3-0 for the Global Community Shield, which is what you'd call it if we'd won that. That's why I'm calling it that. Yeah. After the season that they had, you know what I mean? You caught them at the right time. Yeah, you caught them at the right time. And credit to you. You caught them at the right time. Yeah. But we saw what they did to you in the Champions League, though. They slaughtered you. They slaughtered Liverpool. You know what I mean? We came round and we were winning the game. They couldn't score from open play. Now, people will turn around and say, well, of course they couldn't score from open play because you were defending. Well, hang on. Why didn't you defend then? Why couldn't you defend to a point of where you stopped and scored from open play? This is what people want to try and take away from Arsenal. Yeah, we only had 25% possession. And when we scored, we essentially played as if it was the 90 plus 5th minute and there was 1 minute left. You know what I mean? Which we shouldn't have done. But man are like, well, of course you didn't. Of course you kept him from scoring open play goals, mate, because you just defended. You know what I mean? 2-2s now. This comes from teams that aren't that good at defending. You know what I mean? Maybe if y'all learned to defend, yeah, y'all would have scored some goals against PSG or kept them from scoring goals against you. Yeah? I mean, that's a really good PSG side, and they've retained the Champions League. These men are no slouches. We can't ignore the fact that the ref was dodgy as hell in that game. I know rival fans are milking the fact that we essentially got robbed to a degree and everything like that because, well, it serves you right, mate, because you got away with it all season. And this is why I say none of you man give a fuck about no robberies. Yeah? Because I said before, you man don't care about the robberies. You just care that Arsenal got away with them. And I said, we'll end up getting robbed at some point because it happens. It's only a matter of time before it's your turn. Yeah? And the Champions League final, it was our turn. Yeah? They keep the goal. The referee was dodgy as hell. Blowing the whistle while we were about to take a corner kick. Never seen that before. But he decided to do it in a big game like that. Yeah? And people are saying, oh, you guys take ages to take corners, mate. You know what I mean? And now you want to use the whole, oh, well, it serves you right for getting away with what you've been getting away with, mate. Well, then we're just back full circle then, aren't we? We're just back full circle. Everyone's just going to get robbed. And then anytime anyone else gets robbed, it's just going to be a case of, well, it serves you right because you got away with X, Y, and Z. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Happens. Yeah. The penalty on the Mosquera conceded was a penalty. No surprise that the ref was quick to, give it, but it is what it is. But Noni Madueke not getting the penalty, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And this is what I say about games that are close. I told you guys all season, every time a game is close, this shit happens. And as much as we can cry about referees, the main thing I cry about is why wasn't we good enough to not be in that position? Yeah? If we were 3-0 up, you'd care less about a penalty you should have got, you didn't get. Yeah? You'd care a bit less. Yeah? But we're always in a position where you're just a smidge away from you're not going to win the game. Yeah? Every time a dodgy shit happens, it's either we're drawing the game or we're narrowly winning. Yeah? It's been happening. And it happened all 2024-25 season as well. Every time a game was close, shit happened. This is why these 1-0s, we need to stop that shit. Yeah? We need to stop this whole, we go 1-0 up and then we don't know how to score. Because I knew we weren't going to score another goal in the game. I knew it. Yeah? As happy as we all were when Kai put us 1-0 up, I just knew that we just better be good at defending for the remaining game, because I don't know what we're going to do if we concede. I don't think we'll know what to do, and that's the worst thing about it. So we can't take that into next season. We can't take I score a goal and then I'm parking the bus. We can't take that into next season. Because if we do, we ain't retaining the league title. You know what I mean? Lightning didn't strike twice. We can't get away. What we did last season, we can't get away with that next season. Can't. So we're going to have to sort this shit out. Yeah? We're going to have to sort this out. Because we can't keep getting away with that. They get a penalty. They equalise. And yeah, the game ends up going to penalties in the end, because none of our players that came on, for how we were playing, it was never going to happen. An equaliser was never going to happen. We came close though, yeah, because we did throw the kitchen sink towards the end of the time. Yeah, you had Rice take a first time shot with his left foot, hoping it might deflect off somebody. Yeah, we had a corner and everything like that. It just wasn't meant to be, and we lose on penalties. As soon as Eze did that goofy ass run up, I knew he was going to miss. And the thing is, he did that in the Community Shield for Crystal Palace back in August. Didn't score. And he did it against Palace in another game. Didn't score. So somebody needs to tell Eze, stop that shit with the penalties. Just run up and kick the ball. Yeah? Because as it stands, I don't ever want to see Eze on penalties. Gabriel taking the 5th penalty. Yeah, that was yeah. And when Ryan made that save in the penalty shootout, I thought to myself, we might actually scam this on penalties. We might actually win this on penalties. And then when Gabriel stepped up, I thought, no, he's gonna miss. I just knew Gabriel wasn't gonna score. I knew it. So I braced myself. I prepared myself that I'm going to see us lose the Champions League final on penalties, and then he kicked it over. I knew I'm going to score. I just knew it. I just knew. I could have put strong money on he's not going to score this penalty. I just knew it. And that's all she wrote.
Emotional damage.
Be like rival fans. Give it large. Yeah. So before I talk about them, I've got 70 odd comments in here. Because I don't know if you man are still arguing. I've just been yapping. Right. Damn, you man are always going to remember that you lost a Champions League final the day before the parade. In all fairness, this Champions League loss ain't nearly as bad as 06. You know what I mean? In the manner that we lost this one, I think obviously when it gets to penalties, you're just a kick away from winning it. But I'd rather lose a cup final like that than the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, because the time's ticking down, and you know you're going to lose. Whereas you're still in with a fighting chance. I know it still hurts, but yeah. Yeah, you man were arguing in here. You man were arguing. Big up to Godfrey anyway. I was yapping. I'm not at Tata anymore, but I haven't forgotten to share the chocolates. I still believe we should have been winning cups in the meantime. Egals of this world won't gaslight me into forgetting. Yeah, this is the thing. Like we're never going to forget that. Yeah, but at the same time, going forward, you can't go years without no trophies now. The ball's rolling now. You have to keep it rolling. I mean, you have to keep it rolling. I'll be able to start again if he doesn't return the Prem. So what if he wins? What if he wins the Champions League or any of the cups? Doesn't gotta give Mick all credit. Or win FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Same time minimum. In all fairness, for me, he does have to retain the titles. But you're the only manager now here that's won the Premier League. Everybody else are newbies now, essentially. He has to. You know what I mean? He has to. As world champions, we're good for the next 4 years. Yeah, you guys will take nothing just to cling on to that the world level community shield, wouldn't you? Ateta against Maresca, Ariel, Alonso, and Carrick. Should clean up. I mean, but he has to change the way we're playing. He has to change the way we're playing. Arsenal fortunate to win the league title next season. Be very difficult. Different teams will be strengthening. Clueless, honest, like sacks. No easy win for anybody now. Yo, YG. We pushed them all the way. You beat us 1-1. So we will be strengthening. No, that's a poor argument. Might be missing some stuff now. But let me just get onto these rivals. We have to adjust to all the changes that they're going to make. In all fairness, we're going to have to adjust to all that because what we saw in the Champions League final, even though the ref was on some bullshit, any 50-50s went in PSG's favor. Yeah, what we saw was him blow the whistle at half time because we was taking too long with the corners. You're going to see more of that. So we've got to change up. My dad was a proper Chelsea, called it Summer Holiday Cup. The thing is, Chelsea won it and nobody really cared. The Club World Cup, I don't think it's going to hold the weight that a Champions League holds. And you can be damn sure if Arsenal win the next Club World Cup, you can be damn sure people are going to be like, oh, it's the Global Community Shield, mate. You know what I mean? That's why I'm calling it that, because that's what people will call it if we'd have won that. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But anyways, let me get onto these rivals, because like I said, I told Mando. So obviously rivals were happy. Let's start with Chelsea. Yeah. Not that I'm working in alphabetical order. I just thought I'd start with those blue bastards. Yeah. Obviously Chelsea fans are really happy. that we lost the Champions League final, as it should be, because it's a London club, London rivalry, and everything like that. But their only metric for claiming that they are a bigger club than us is the Champions Leagues they have. Yeah? They don't use Europa League, they don't use a conference, they don't use none of that. They use the Champions League. That's the main thing they use. And they know we have more league titles than them and Tottenham combined. Yeah? So if all we need to do is just get our hands on the Champions League trophy once and they're fucked. What will they have? Oh, we'll win it more times. Nobody cares. Neither do you. Yeah? Let me explain why. Not that I haven't explained this 100 times already. Yeah? Nobody cares about the Champions League like that. Yeah? They don't. Yeah? Because if Alonso doesn't win the Premier League for you guys, chances are he is more likely to get sacked for not winning the Premier League than not winning the Champions League. For example, let's just say you were in the Champions League next season. Let's just say you were a good enough club to maintain playing in Europe. Yeah? Because as it stands, you're just not. Yeah? If he didn't win the Champions League next season, if he was in it, he wouldn't get sacked for it. The only way he would is if it was the only thing left that you could have won. Then maybe you would have done. Maybe. But because you've already won the Champions League, you don't really care about, the manager has to win it or he has to go. You know what I mean? Those days are gone because you won it. Yeah? So I say that to say that managers will get sacked for not winning the Premier League before they get sacked for not winning the Champions League, thus meaning that the Premier League is everything. Yeah? Like, this is not a farmers league. I know Klopp and Pep almost turned it into a farmers league. This ain't no farmers league. You go ask teams in the French league, the Spanish league, the Italian league, the Portuguese league. Did I say Spanish already? Yeah? The Dutch league. You go ask the teams in all those leagues. Yeah? Would you rather win the title or the Champions League? They'll pick the Champions League because their leagues are shit. Yeah? The French league, you go ask a PSG fan. Yeah? Would you take, well, obviously they take a three-peat Champions League, but would you take winning the league or winning the Champions League? They'll choose the Champions League every single time because their league's shit. They know they're going to win it. You know what I mean? Ask Marseille fans. Yeah? Go ask a Marseille fan. Yeah? Next season, I don't know where they're finishing their table. I don't know anything about their leagues other than their leagues aren't as good as ours. I guarantee if you ask a Marseille fan, would you take winning the league next season or the Champions League? They'll choose the Champions League. Yeah? A club like that will choose the Champions League. Yeah? You'd have to be down bad, a.k.a. you'd have to be the Nottingham Forest level of football clubs. That's when you'd probably choose, I'd take winning the Champions League. Probably. Because that's when I choose winning the league in your, shit league, basically. Because I know that, I ain't gonna, I'm not anywhere near there. But otherwise, yeah, it's only in the Premier League because I watched Turkish's stream when I was on my way down to London and he had a PSG fan on there and he said he couldn't understand why fans in England, or Arsenal fans, would choose winning the Premier League over the Champions League. And the Liverpool fan, what's his name, Grizz, he explained to him basically, without saying it, that the Premier League isn't a Farmers League compared to the other Farmers League. So teams in the Farmers League would choose the Champions League because winning their leagues, basically, the way I describe it, the way I describe it, the Italian league, the Spain league, the Portuguese league, the French league, the Dutch league, their league means to them what the FA Cup means to us in England, basically. Their league titles is like an FA Cup. That's why their leagues value the Champions League as the end-all and be-all. Yeah? Whereas here, you would still get clubs saying, I would take winning the Premier League over the Champions League. Liverpool fans in 2019 would have rather won the Premier League that season than the Champions League. Yeah. I even asked my friends who were Liverpool fans, would you have took it being the Premier League instead? And said, yeah. Yeah. If they were Real Madrid fans, they probably would have said, I want the Champions League, despite how often Real Madrid win league titles. Tanya, nobody cares about the Champions League like that. Once you've won it, nobody cares. Yeah? That's why as soon as Arsenal get their hands on the Champions League, suddenly the Champions League becomes devalued. It's lost its value now. I can't troll Arsenal for never winning it. Even though I can talk about numbers for clubs that have won it more than once, it's not going to hit the same. Yeah? Trolling Arsenal, let's just say Arsenal won the Champions League. Trolling Arsenal for winning only one when your club has won more than one, it's not going to hit the same. It's not going to hit the same. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You won't sack your manager for not winning the Champions League. You sack him for not winning the Premier League. The league titles are bread and butter. Yeah? I ain't choosing winning a cup competition over my league titles. My domestic league title, I'm not choosing winning a cup competition. The only way I would have chosen winning the league title. Let me just start again. Yeah. Because I kind of fumbled that. Yeah. Let me just start again. The only way I'd choose winning. I've got some in my fucking eye. The only way I would have chosen winning the Champions League over the league title next season is if we'd have won the league title, the Champions League this season. I'd have chosen retaining it for banter purposes, yeah, and to just quickly stack up on Champions League trophies. I'd have chosen. That's the only way. If we'd have won the Champions League on Saturday, and somebody said to me, "You can either retain the Premier League or the Champions League," I'd have chosen retaining the Champions League. But as it stands, if somebody said to me, "Next season, you're winning one of the two, the Premier League or the Champions League," I'm still choosing the Premier League. Yeah. As the Ludoguna said on Instagram, you can't miss what you've never had. You can't. Yeah. As much as I'd love to win the Champions League, as much as I really want to win it, let's not kid ourselves. I really want that trophy. I just don't think I want it over that. You know what I mean? I'd have to get bored of winning that at this point for me to choose the Champions League over it comfortably. Yeah? Because rival fans have romanticized the Champions League. They've romanticized it. They've made it into it's a token to say you've never won it. Ha ha ha. Because they don't care about winning it again. You know what I mean? Fans care about stacking league titles. Man United fans care about trying to get 21. I never heard him talk about let's get 4. You know what I mean? I never heard Liverpool fans that say let's get 7. These men are talking about let me get 21. I'm not even Chelsea fans talk about let's get 3. I will hear them say let's get 7. So what does that say? You know what I mean? Imagine that Chelsea, but I know. It's insane. My friend who was gambling with sports said the Prem was suspicious to him. He avoided betting those games. What shit season that was, fam. Memorable, entertaining games to speak of. Were you just asking international fans to hold Prem trophies over champs? Liverpool love Champions League. That's the best trophy, and a big club can win. No, the friends, my friends that I asked, the big Liverpool fans, I asked them, and I kind of, judging by how Liverpool missed out on the league as well, I kind of got the indication that in 2019 they would have chosen winning the league title that season over the Champions League. because obviously by that point it was a long time since Liverpool won the league title as well. And Liverpool fans have seen the Champions League being won, before. It's not like they were really starved to a point of where it was insane kind of thing. You know what I mean? But in England, I'm confident that football fans that would win a league title over a Champions League. Unless your club has never won the Champions League, then you'll get ones that will say, okay, I won the Champions League. But even still, managers get sacked for not winning the league title before they'll get sacked for not winning the Champions League, unless the club hasn't unless the club hasn't won a Champions League and the club's just desperate for it. Yeah. That's how I see it. That's the way it looks to me. That's the way it looks. Bayern PSG matchup was the best game last season. I was fortunate to seeing it, no cap. But anyways, back to these rivals. Yeah. Chelsea fans know what the deal is. Liverpool fans. Now, Liverpool fans, like I said before, Liverpool fans, I never saw them as obviously before they won, before Klopp, Liverpool fans were just living in the past. 5 times Istanbul, blah, 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 all that shit. Yeah. But even when Klopp won the Champions League and the league title, Liverpool fans weren't this bad. But then Arsenal getting into a title race happened. And Liverpool fans, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something in the water. I don't know. They just ended up being insufferable. What they accuse us of, yeah? Twerking for Man City, building up a fake rivalry with Arsenal. And it was like the Liverpool fans would come onto Man City fans' posts to go at any Arsenal fans that commented on the post to a Man City fan. It happened to me. After we beat City 5-1 a couple of seasons ago, I commented on Big Steve's post saying that he was coping when he was showing the 5 trophies that they won. And I had Liverpool fans on there going at me. And they were talking about stay humble. And I thought to myself, we beat Man City. We didn't beat you. I know we're in the title race with you, but we're miles behind anyway. And that's when I realized the Liverpool fans have actually gone bad. And then all the twerking I've been seeing them do all year for Man City. And I thought to myself, where was this venom against the team that kept pipping you to the title and you were getting 90-odd points? Yeah? The team that robbed you of a couple of titles at least. Yeah? VAR decisions and all that. You'd think your venom would be with them, but no. Their venom was with Arsenal. And then you look at them this season, they've been crying about Arsenal getting away with X, Y, and Z, even though they were getting away with X, Y, and Z when they won the league. David Cooting, yeah. And now they want to talk. Now they want to talk about how Arsenal fans are this and Arsenal fans are that. When you man were the same, if not worse. Like everything people complain about of Arsenal fans, everybody else is that. That's what everybody else is. It just gets highlighted that when it's Arsenal. You know what I mean? And Liverpool fans on Saturday night were praying Arsenal to lose the Champions League final. Why? Because they know that Arteta would have done what Klopp couldn't do. Yeah? Win the league and the Champions League in the same season. They wanted Arteta to suffer the same way they did when Klopp won one of the trophies of the 2. That's what they were scared of. They were scared that Klopp's seasons at Liverpool would have been outdone in one season by Arteta. That's why. Yeah. Now, I can't speak for all Arsenal fans. I can't. But when Liverpool were on that quadruple charge in 2022, I actually wanted Liverpool to do it. I didn't want Man City to win the league. What that club stands for and everything like that, it's a manufactured in a lab kind of football club. You know what I mean? I have respect for the red cartel. Yeah. Because it's been clubs that got it out of the mud. Yeah. Yeah, obviously everyone laughs at Liverpool when they lose and everything like that, whatever. But I never saw it to a point of where I'd want to lose against a club just so it doesn't benefit Liverpool. Like, I don't get that. But that's where some Liverpool fans were. And now we have this rivalry with Liverpool that I didn't know that we had to the degree of where it is. To where, and when I say rivalry, I'm talking they would take losing games, yeah, if they have to, so that Arsenal don't win. I'm not talking the basic rivalry of, I don't want you to win because, why would I want a near rival, essentially, to win? You know what I mean? And give you more league titles and give you this and whatever. It's just that it's at the point now where it's like, oh, Man City, please beat him. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. You know what I mean? And that's what made Liverpool fans get on the radar. And then when they had the season that they had last season, it was hilarious. But I felt like I was just too far ahead for me to laugh at them too much because I was just focusing on we better get over the line. Yeah. But we'll see what happens next season because now we're the champions. You have to bow to us. Yeah. You have to look up to us. Yeah. Now we know that you're definitely going to be twerking for the ops. Yeah. Come the start next season. And if you man don't live up to what you need to live up to, we know what the deal is. As for Man United fans, well, where do I start with them? I mean, they got the Magic 21, but not in league titles. Unlucky. And the highlight of their season was seeing Arsenal lose a Champions League final. Okay, so I'm saying we'll win the Champions League before you win a Premier League or a Champions League. Now what? How confident are you that you're gonna win the Premier League or Champions League before we get our hands on a Champions League? Because you better pray we don't. You better pray we don't. I mean, y'all better pray that doesn't become reality, Because we know y'all on suicide watch. The only thing that's keeping you sane is we lost a Champions League final. If anything, losing that Champions League final kept you, man, from thinking about doing it. Yeah? Because it's brought hope into you, man. Yeah? Next season, mate, we're back now. You, man, aren't going to make same next season. You know what I mean? What you, man, going to do next season? You know what I mean? With your Ollie 2.0. You know what I mean? You get fooled by shit very easily. Yeah? Like I said, you'll win your first 5 games, providing we're not involved in the first 5 games. But let's just say we are, and you beat us. You win your first 5 games. United Strand will get a haircut. You, man, will start gassing how you're better than us. Our manager's better than yours. It's game over for you, man, now. Our new signing's better than yours. And come January, you're twerking for Man City. Yeah? And you, man, you fall for the same okie dokie every single time. Yeah? Carrick was playing 1 game a week and winning the majority of them. But as soon as you had more than 1 game a week, you were dropping points. And you, man, blindsided, of course. Now you think you're going to next season. Oh, well, if you had Carrick in August, mate, league 2-2s, United Strand couldn't get a haircut still. So how does that work out? Yeah? How does that work out? Bruno got 21 assists before United Strand got a haircut. That's shambles. Shambles. You know what I mean? No league title in 13 years. 13 years. You know what I mean? You might haven't competed in the Champions League since what? The last final you were in? 2011. You know what I mean? You, man, can't even compete for a Champions League. I swear you haven't won a knockout game since 2014 or something. Or some shit like that. Big Manchester United, Big Manchester United. Oh, and yeah, to get back to Liverpool, I forgot. I was meant to come back to it. I only just remembered as I was talking about Champions League. Yeah. As I said, we know that us winning, if we'd have won the Champions League, Liverpool fans would have been shitting themselves. Oh, they're gonna say that they're gonna compare him to Klopp now. Yeah. Well, let's face it, yeah. You man want to talk about how we played in the Champions League final because we played, of course you kept PSG from scoring up and playing goals because you defended all the time. Well, maybe if you man did it, you would have actually beaten a team in the Champions League final that was about that life. Yeah? Because let's not forget, yeah? Jurgen Klopp took you to how many Champions League finals? 3 and won one of them. No, he took you to 4, didn't he? No, he took you to 3. He took you to 3 of them, but he's been in 4 of them, but he's took you to 3 of them. Yeah. And who was the team that he beat? Tottenham. Of course he did. Of course he was going to beat Tottenham. Yeah. Let that have been Real Madrid in 2019 Champions League final. You wouldn't have beat him. Yeah. Jurgen Klopp got to a Champions League final in 2013 with Borussia Dortmund. Who did he face? Bayern Munich, a team that's what? About that life. Yeah? A team with Champions League pedigree. He gets Liverpool to a Champions League final in 2018. Gets smoked by Real Madrid. Yeah? A team that's what? About that life. He gets to the Champions League final in 2022 against Real Madrid, who are what? About that life. But the Champions League final that he did win in 2019 was against who? Tottenham. Who what? Got there for the first time. Who what? Never won it before. If only Arsenal got a novice in the Champions League final, maybe we would have had one. Maybe if we had got Atletico Madrid on Saturday night instead of PSG, maybe we would have won one. Yeah? Y'all ought to be thankful Tottenham got to that final in 2019. That's the reason why you got the Champions League that you got from Klopp. Yeah? Because what he's shown the world is, well, when I come up against a team that's actually got pedigree in the Champions League final, I don't beat them. Yeah? Y'all ought to be thankful. Well, we're unlucky that we didn't get to a Champions League final sooner and get a novice like you man did to when you won it in 2019. And that 2019 team was far superior than that Liverpool side in 05 that beat that amazing AC Milan team. But shit like that does happen. Yeah? Shit like that does happen. But facts are facts. Facts don't care about feelings. The facts are the Champions League he won you guys was against Tottenham. It's only Tottenham. A novice. Like, let's just put it this way, because this is how they talk about us if it was us. Yeah. If we get, I don't know who's in the Champions League in the other leagues. Let's just hypothetically we get Bodo Glimt in a Champions League final in Madrid next year. Yeah. What I'm saying now is what everybody else will be saying to us. Oh, you only beat Bodo Glimt, mate. Ooh, it was their first time there, mate. Them saying all sorts. So I'm doing the same thing you do us. Yeah? You only beat Tottenham. You should be thankful you got Tottenham. Otherwise, you'd still be hanging on to 2005. Because when you got to a Champions League final after 2019, you got Real Madrid and you lost. Surely by now, you just wouldn't lose again to Real Madrid. You'd know how to beat them this time. No. You know what I mean? But yeah, y'all will talk the most if it was us. You know what I mean? Y'all will be saying we got a handout. If like I said, if we get to a Champions League final next year and we get someone like Bodo Glimt, y'all will be talking about, oh, they handed out, they got Arsenal an easy draw, mate, so they can try and win Champions League. That's what happened to you guys. Fuck we talking about? You know what I mean? Tottenham got to the final in 2019. You got there. You know what I mean? If that's not tailor-made, Liverpool, you have to win it now. You run us up the year before. You know what I mean? But no, you wouldn't draw that conclusion, or would you? But if it's us, you'd be saying, oh, like I said, in the hypothetical situation of Arsenal get to the Champions League final next year and get Bodo Glimt, in a hypothetical situation, you guys will be saying they rigged it for Bodo Glimt to get there, they rigged it for Arsenal to get there, so that Arsenal can finally win the Champions League, because otherwise they can't do it. That's exactly what you fuckers will be saying about us. That's exactly what you'd say about us if that scenario played out. So that's what I'm saying about you guys when you got Tottenham in 2019 and you finally, under Klopp, got a Champions League. Yeah? Because any other time around it, you were getting beat. That's facts. Yeah? Word to Dr. Umar's daughter. Yeah?
Facts.
Facts. When you won it, you only got Tottenham. Yeah? Put Bayern Munich in there, put Real Madrid in there, put PSG in there, put anyone about that life in there, you're getting beat. Yeah? You're getting beat. You got a handicap in Tottenham. I'm glad you beat him though. I ain't gonna lie though. I wore a Liverpool shirt that night. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? Telling you. But fuck you guys. Because I said it's fuck everybody. Yeah? Now, back to Man United. You get Man United fans talk about the way we play football and this, that, and the other, this, that, and the third. Fam, we saw you try and play football in the Champions League final, and what happened? You got your asses handed to by Barca multiple times. What are we talking about? You know what I mean? One of them was even at Wembley. Of all fucking places, Wembley. Represent England, and you let a Spanish team come to England and beat you 3-1 in the Champions League final. You know what I mean? Pep Guardiola kept showing the world Fergie has got it easy in the Premier League. But take him outside of it, it ain't so sweet now, is it? Yeah? That's what he showed. You know what I mean? United fans, I haven't seen none of that since, but they ain't stressing though, are they? They ain't stressing because why? Because nobody gives a fuck about the Champions League no more. They just care about trolling teams that have never won it. That's all it is. They care about trolling teams that never won it. I never heard a Man United fan say, no. This manager has to not only get us in the Champions League, he has to win it. Never heard it. Never heard it. They only care about getting Champions League football to attract players. Yeah? That's why people say, if you get Champions League football, you will attract world-class players. What about winning it? Why not? I want to be in the Champions League to win it. Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about winning it. I told you guys this. Yeah? Nobody cares about winning the Champions League anymore. They care about trolling teams that have never won it before. But if they do win it, then it's nice. Yeah? I've said this before. A threesome, it would be nice, but I'm not going to hold you to it. If I can go on a night out and draw 2 girls, that would be sweet. But I ain't going to hold you to it. Yeah? It'd be nice if it fell to my lap, but if it doesn't happen, oh well, because it's hard to do anyway. It's hard to pull off compared to picking one up. That's the Champions League. Yeah? Oh, what's nose, man? That's the Champions League. It'd be nice, but if you don't do it, I mean, I understand it's difficult. Yeah? But you weren't doing it before, mate. You weren't doing it before. You know what I mean? The Champions League will lose its value the second Arsenal get their hands on it. Watch. Just watch. I'm telling you, I can call shit right now. Arsenal get their hands on the Champions League, whether it's next year, the year after, the year after, the year after that. Get their hands on the Champions League, which would have meant they've won the league title at least once in the last few years, and then they've got a Champions League. Then they'll start devaluing the Champions League now. Yeah? Well, it took Arsenal 140 years, which, cut that shit out. What do you mean it took 140 years? The Champions League started in the 50s. Arsenal existed 1886, since 1886. So 1886 to the 1950s, we couldn't win it. Nobody could. You know what I mean? It took as long as from the 50s to the present day. And still counting. That's how long it took. Not 140 years. You know what I mean? My club won't go 140 years without a Champions League. Man aren't good at maths, are they? But this is what gets put around because Arsenal never won it, and it makes the numbers look bigger. It makes Arsenal look worse. It's what they do. Hence, you've won 4 Premier Leagues, we've won 13, whatever. Yeah? Or you've won 4 Premier Leagues, we won 6. Yeah? To make Arsenal sound smaller. That's all it is. But this whole, it took 140 years, cut that shit out. You know what I mean? Know your maths. Yeah? If something was invented in recent times, but you were born before it, it's stupid for me to like if you as a 50-year-old, for example, you're 50 years old, but something came out 25 years ago, half your life, basically. And then somebody said, oh, it took you 50 years to achieve that. Well, no, it didn't. Because for 25 of it, the thing didn't exist to achieve what it was to achieve. And then at the same time, people want to talk about how, oh, well, Arsenal never won European trophies. Well, that's a lie. Because Arsenal have actually won 2 European trophies. Yeah, they don't exist anymore, the competitions. But is that what we're really going to do? Because if I start talking about, oh, well, that club's only won a Champions League because they beat a Swedish team, you're going to start talking about, well, that Swedish team got there, mate. They must have been good, mate. You know what I mean? So which one is it? Because, you know, was the team good? So what does it say about the competition and the competitions that exist? You know what I mean? Y'all got something else. Do I even need to waste my time on Tottenham fans? Because you might have been fighting relegations 2 seasons straight. I don't know if I need to even waste my energy on you, man. I think all we need to do is just wait with you guys, because you have a man like De Zerbi, yeah, talking about how surviving relegation is better than winning the league title. What the fuck would he know anyway about winning the league title? Yeah, I don't recall him winning the league title anywhere, unless I'm wrong. And number 2, De Zerbi and Tottenham are match made in heaven. Yeah, they are match made in heaven. First, for a Spurs manager to turn around and say, well, surviving relegation was better than is bigger than winning the league title. I mean,
Selective badness.
Yeah. Good luck, Spurs. You're gonna need it. You may have survived relegation for the 2nd time straight, but honestly, just don't be surprised if De Zerbi's got you back down there fighting it again, and then you get rid of him, hoping somebody else keeps you up. You better pray that the teams that are likely to be bottom 3 this season, you better pray that they're as shit as what last season's bottom 3 was. I'm telling you, otherwise you're down. You know what I mean? The thing is, that didn't piss off any Spurs fans that I know of. I guarantee you, there was not one Spurs fan that was pissed off that he said that. And that's the problem. Yeah? Spurs fans should have been fuming that he said that. Because if he can say that about surviving relegation, what does it say about his ambitions for the club? Yeah? Do you think he's going to try and get you into a title race to try and win the league? Him saying that. Match made in heaven. I'm telling you. That's what it is.
You don't find that suspicious?
What a dirty club. What a dirty club. I can't keep up with these comments. I need to have you been listening to Austin Nick? just going. I saw Nick's video today about Arsenal. Like I said before, I say it again. Liverpool fans are scared that if Arsenal had won that Champions League the other night, yeah, that we would have been clapping at Liverpool fans talking about this man's outdone Klopp seasons, blah blah blah. Yeah. But like I said earlier, obviously you have to beat who's in front of you. It's fair. Yeah. But when Klopp finally won them the Champions League, they only beat Tottenham. let Arteta only beat a club of Tottenham's level for a Champions League. Just let him do it. Let him do it. And watch. Just watch how the narrative will be. Well, you only beat that team. Well, the league was rigged so that you could face those in the Champions League final because, you know, the UEFA wants you to win the Champions League. Honestly, let that be this guy getting it. The Champions League he finally wins is against a novice team that have never been in the final before, never won it with nothing. Yeah, never first time finalists, and he beats them. Let this guy be that guy. I'm telling you, everything I said now about them and Spurs would be said about us. All fans have annoying fans. We're all the same. This is what I mean. But they wanna play as if there's some sort of specialty with Arsenal fans. But you know what fuels it though? Some of those on AFTV. Yeah? Because what I hear people say is they mention AFTV as to why they can't stand Arsenal fans. And when they hear Ty talking about Arsenal are bigger than Real Madrid or Arsenal are bigger than Man United and shit like that, that fuels it. You know what I mean? Thank you, Rod. That City fan is deluded. YG, the league is more important. I had a City fans saying to me that winning the FA Cup and Carabao Cup is better. Oh, well, they did that to Liverpool fans. They didn't have that. When they told Liverpool fans in 2022, when Liverpool won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, they told, and Man City won the Premier League, Man City fans told Liverpool fans, we had a better season because we won the league. That's what they told them. Now, City fans are running the narrative that Carabao Cup. See what you see? I told you. Watch how the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup is glorified now. Yeah. Now it's better to win 2 trophies than 1. That is true. I'm sorry, but if you win the Premier League, yeah, none of us is choosing to win the Carabao Cup and a FA Cup over just the Premier League. Yeah. If somebody said next season you win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, or you'll win the Premier League, I'm sorry, none of us are going to choose to win the Carabao Cup and the EFL Cup and over winning the Premier League that season. It's one thing saying I'd take winning 10 Carabao Cups or 1 league title in the next. It's one thing saying I'll take winning the Premier League next season and then nothing after that for the next 10 years, or win the Carabao Cup for the next 10 years. That's another thing. But now trying to claim that. Now, watch now. If they beat us in August for one of them, watch now. We won a treble, mate. Watch. But let us beat Man City in Cardiff in August in a Community Shield for this. Yeah? And then we're showing off those two. Watch what they'll say. Just watch what they'll say. You wouldn't say in season there. I knew it was better than yours because yours isn't even a true double. Same ones that were talking about 5 trophies in one season or in 1 year. When they won the treble in 2023, and then they won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup after that. They were talking about 5. That's why I was so glad we beat him in the Community Shield in 2023, because I didn't want them talking about 6, because that's what they would have done. Just watch in August. Watch. If we beat them in the Community Shield, yeah. If they beat us, they'll be talking about they've got the Carabao Cup, Community Shield, and FA Cup. But if we beat them, we'd have those 2 to our name, but they'll talk shit against it because they don't count. The Community Shield will only count if they beat us in August because they'll have 3 trophies. But it doesn't count. It won't count if we beat them for it because, well, it's not part of the season. That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. Like I said, I know these man inside out. YG Liverpool fans are still your rivals. So were you hoping Liverpool fans to back Arsenal for the league? No, it's not about wanting Liverpool fans to back us or anything like that. Because I know what time it is. Yeah, I know what time it is. It's the twerking. That's the thing. It's the twerking. It's when you expose yourself to be well, I value Arsenal failure over anything else. And it's like, I mean, if you're a Tottenham fan, you know what I mean, knock yourself out kind of thing. But a Liverpool fan, because Liverpool fans were on Twitter all year shitting themselves that Arsenal might win the league and stuff. They were begging City to get in the title race. You even had City fans when Arsenal went top of the league in back in September or something. You even had City fans who gave up and said, Liverpool fans, please do something. That would be like me begging Chelsea fans. That would be like me begging Chelsea as an Arsenal fan to do something because Liverpool are in the title race, or Man United are in the title race, or Everton are in the title race, or Man City are in the title race. How stupid would that be? You're not meant to like me, but that's retarded. You know what I mean? Chelsea fans are worse than that. They were rocking PSG kits. All man would have been doing that. YG Arsenal, your team has crossed over the line. Liverpool City don't care about Arsenal, one league title and difference maker. We saw lose finals and play strange style football. They say they don't care, but they're begging each other to beat each other just so that we don't win. Like, I call cap on all this I don't care nonsense that I keep hearing.
Stop the cap.
You know what I mean? Especially when Liverpool fans say, I don't care about Arsenal winning the Champions League. I've got 6. You don't care.
Stop the cap.
Yes, you do. That's why you all twerk. You know what I mean? Like, if I see Liverpool in the Champions League final, yeah, against, I don't know, Benfica or something, I don't think, yeah, it'd be funny to see Liverpool lose. It would be, but it doesn't mean that much to me to how it would if Liverpool was to see us in the Champions League final to anybody. It seems to me more to them to see Arsenal lose because, oh, well, the fans will be unbearable. It's like, well, any fan base would be unbearable. You know what I mean? But you know why it would be unbearable? Because you spent all these years talking about how, oh, you champions of Europe, you never seen that, and you've held it over us all this time. Now you're shitting yourselves that we might be getting close. But you've only got yourselves to blame. You man decided to use the Champions League to weaponize against us. Now when it comes to us coming close to winning it now you're shitting yourselves. You know what I mean? Well, I'm already over it. Yeah, to be honest, the thing is, this is going to sound weird, but winning the league title has helped. But when we lost the Carabao Cup final, that hurt me more for days. But obviously, because we lost the Champions League final, we won the Premier League anyway. That's easy. If we hadn't have won the Premier League and then lost, and then the Champions League was all we had and we lost that, yeah, I don't think I'd be streaming right now. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? It was crazy. We're not even capping. No, we can get there again. Yeah, I mean, as I've calmed down, I'm looking at it and I'm like, we'll probably get there again and, you know, get the job done. But like I said, rivals better brace themselves. Because they've spent their mental energy exhausting themselves, preying on Arsenal's failure all season. And even though we've got Premier League to show for it all, they're going to have to do it all again. Yeah? If their club doesn't get their shit right, They're gonna have to do it all again. Yeah, preying on the next of kin to try and stop us if we're still in the title race next season. Yeah, they're gonna be praying whoever it is. I wouldn't even put it past the Liverpool fans begging Everton to win the league title ahead of us. Yeah, that's how shameless I've seen a lot of fans be. They're probably if Everton just get in a title race randomly, I wouldn't put it past them. You know what I mean? Am I only one Arteta out? You might be. I can't keep up with all these comments. I'm gonna need to get someone to be a moderator that's gonna put comments up on the screen for me. Bottle pool are washed. I beg you, do the humble thing. Congratulate and move on, lol. Liverpool played poorly in that final against Spurs. A lot of fans forget that. Exactly. That was a shit final, that. You know what I mean? It bamboozled me because I saw Liverpool winning against Spurs after 1 minute. But the game was actually shit. And Liverpool kept giving the ball away as well. People missed that as well. The amount of times they lost the ball. Just Spurs were just too shit to do anything. And people will miss that. And the thing is, people talking about the possession that Arsenal had in the final on Saturday and everything like that. If we'd have got over the line the way Chelsea did, you know, when they had less possession than Bayern Munich in Munich, and then they won it on penalties, yeah, nobody would have cared in the end. Yeah, but because it didn't get us over the line, now football won. Yeah, you know what I mean? The parking the bus and whatever, it didn't work. Yeah, we paid for it and it didn't work. And now, you know what I mean? This is the backlash for when it don't work. But if it did work, it being Arsenal, you know, people have been crying about the way we've been playing. You know what I mean? People move the goalpost every single time. They talk about, well, it's the way Arsenal play is why people are against Arsenal. No, the fuck it isn't. People have been like this when we were playing good football. Stop lying to me. Like, I don't like being lied to. Yeah? Don't lie to me. Don't lie to us. Don't gaslight us. Anybody that tells you it's the way Arsenal play why people have a problem with them, fuck them. Pause. Yeah? That's bullshit. That's the biggest one of the biggest bullshit I've heard. It's nothing to do with the way we play. It's nothing to do with fouling keepers and whatever. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with Arsenal being consistently up there to compete for the biggest trophies. It's everything to do with that. Yeah? Why don't you explain how we got to the final? We beat best Barca, best PSG, and other European teams to get to the final and win it from. You did the opposite to what we did this year. You had the big hitters and then you faced a small fry in the final. Yeah? Whereas we had the small fry and got to a final, got a big hitter and didn't win it. You literally did the opposite to us. That's what happened. You know what I mean? You beat your Barca's, your PSGs, and whoever else. I think no, it was Tottenham that beat Man City on that side. Yeah, you did the hard part, and then you got the easiest final you'll ever have in recent times, and you won it. Whereas we got the easiest run in recent times to get to a final, and got the hardest game we could have played in the Champions League final, and we didn't win. And it was only by penalty kicks. It wasn't what everybody thought. Oh, they'll beat you 5-0. They'll beat you 6-0. You know what I mean? Scores was predicting 3-0 and 4-0. You know what I mean? We were winning 1-0 after 6 minutes. Yeah? Unlucky, but the Mosquera gave away a penalty. Otherwise, we could have seen that game out 1-0 from a 6th-minute goal. We could have seen that game out 1-0. But it was unfortunate. Didn't happen. But yeah, you did good to get there. But again, we've seen Liverpool do all sorts of shit. But then you get to a final against a big hitter and you crumble. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. That's what I mean. Honestly, just like I said, guys. Like I said, I know I'll repeat myself. I'm only scratching up the comments. My nose is really blocked. Let that be Arsenal that gets a Tottenham level team in the Champions League final. We just been to one, and then we face a novice, and then we win it. Because let's not forget, all the rival fans were talking about how they're benefiting us in the running to the Champions League final with all these easy teams that we've got. RG champs are not your thing. Liverpool being in the finals, won it more than any English sides. Yeah, you won it more than any other English side. Yeah, you mean you've got the heritage. You know what I mean? It might not be for us. It might not be. You know what I mean? I was saying on my match reaction that we'll probably never win it because I've seen. You look at the record of clubs that have been to finals and still not won it to this day. You know what I mean? You've got Benfica who've won it twice. And they've been runners-up about 5 times. I think it is. They've been runners-up a gang of times. I mean, it's just one of the things. It might not be ours. It might be. You just never know. These Manchester fans are the most cringe and embarrassing begs around. I'm really sure that you can throw in Chelsea in there too. Yeah, the Chelsea. That posh ass team in Fulham. I mean, say real buying FC, but FC teams who owners have said it's a trophy they need to win. YG Arsenal does not have ambitions to win a Champions League, hence why you aren't holding Arsenal FC to the same standards. We're holding them to standard, just not to a point of where it's do or die. Maybe that's our problem. That might be our problem. But having been to a final now for the first time in 20 years and just won the league off the back of it as well, I think it's going to become more of a thing now where, okay, you've won the Premier League, Arteta, now the Champions League, because you best believe we're going to be competing again for that Champions League. You best believe we're going to. But if Arteta retains the Premier League next season, and he doesn't win the Champions League, he's gonna get to go again. He ain't gonna get sacked because he didn't win the Champions League. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, even I held him to a standard at first, saying I want the Premier League and the Champions League after all this. You know what I mean? But when push comes to shove, like I said, nobody cares about the Champions League. Nobody's sacking managers because they're not winning it. You know what I mean? The Cup Winners' Cup is basically Europa League, and Arsenal beat Palm. Yeah, I know. But nobody's interested in that. The Intercities Flares Cup was what the Europa League is now. And then the Cup Winners' Cup was the Europa League equivalent then. You know what I mean? Because the UEFA Cup final we got to in 2000. Obviously they rebranded into Europa League in 2009, I think it was. But yeah, people act like we've never done it at a certain level. We've won European trophies at a Europa League level in our history. We just haven't won it at European Cup level, i.e. Champions League. But because the competition doesn't exist, you know what I mean? People want to discredit it. Spurs are foul washed. I'm not surprised. It's funny how some of these rivals forget 994. I know. You're the only real one, bro. Big up to you. Arteta will surpass Flipping. I'm telling you, like, just don't let me see dominance from us now. I'm not saying we're gonna dominate anything. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm just saying don't let me see it. I mean, congrats on your prem. Big up to you. No one cares about Little City, to be fair. Yeah, they had a dead ass little house party in the city of Manchester. They couldn't even wait for the women's to win the FA Cup first. They had to rush the team. You know what I mean? And they had to flex the old Premier League trophy they won in 2024 just because Pep's leaving now. You know what I mean? Let that be that Arsene Wenger left now, yeah? And then we're flexing the gold Premier League trophy. They'll be trolling us talking about, why you touching something you haven't won in a long time, man? You know what I mean? The crown even dropped off. When Haaland lifted up the trophy, the crown even dropped off it. That's how long it's been since he last lifted one of those. You know what I mean? Fuck out of here, fucking City fans, man. But they're gonna try and say that, because like I said, it's better to win 2 trophies than 1. But I'm sorry, it's better to win the league title than the domestic cups. You know what I mean? Just is. But in August, when we face them in the Community Shield, yeah, they'll have the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup to their name. We have the Premier League to our name. One of us is going to leave with that Community Shield. So it's either we're going to have 2 trophies to our name now, or they're going to have 3 to their name. But we know that if they beat us in the Community Shield, they'll brag about having 3 trophies. If we beat them in the Community Shield, we can't brag about having 2 to our name because the Community Shield doesn't count. It's going to be the Community Shield in August is going to be so interesting. Yeah, it's going to be so interesting. Big up to Twofold. YG, don't let the rivals get to us and mock us. If anything, let's make it positive because we have a feeling that Arsenal ownership want us to win the Champions League next. After to rethink his tactics now. Yeah, I think next season, it's going to be a case of he's going to try and win the Premier League and the Champions League. I think I'm not going to say he's not going to try and win the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, but I think that the main focus is going to be the Premier League and the Champions League, especially coming so close this season. The season just gone. I was back there. I'm off to be in our position. Yeah, Spurs could have had a Champions League final. Spurs could have had it. Champions League final. Our fans wouldn't be happy with that, fan. Since most of our fans were cheering it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I wore a Liverpool shirt that night. I wore my friend's Liverpool shirt when I was watching it with him. Yeah. I was like, nah, we can't have Spurs winning that. Yeah. Can't have that. But that doesn't escape the fact that Liverpool, you know what I mean? Like, it was only Spurs you got in the final. You know what I mean? The one that you won was against Spurs. You know what I mean? Because your lot, if we get to the final next year and we get Bodo Glimt, and we win that, your lot will be saying how we got Bodo Glimt, that's why we won. Look what happened when you faced PSG. Look what happened when you faced Barcelona. You lost, but then you got Bodo Glimt and you finally won it. That's what they'd say. So I'm giving back what would be given to me, out to us. Imagine calling it. We'll be in another final in 3 years, as a Bodo looking to move players on an attack and get elite finishes in. I should hope so. Hopefully Arteta's taking us to Spain next year. You know what I mean? That's it, fan is pure. I think he might have been in the chat before. That's the rubbish he was saying to me. But anyways, I can't go through all these comments because there's too many. I'm gonna have to sort my body now to see if who can put comments on screens and shit like that. There's too much to read. Plus, I need to go to bed because I'm back at work tomorrow. And I can't be doing this getting little sleep. But anyways, let me just get to the last comment. Fuck it, try and go for a treble next season. Why not? Think big and dream big. That's actually realistic where we are now. I don't think we'll pull it off, but still, ideally go for a quadruple. You know what I mean? Just go for it. You know what I mean? Because if you reach a Carabao Cup final and you're top of the league, you know what I mean? You win that, then you've got one in the bag. You know what I mean? And if King Tets was to clean up next season, you know what I mean? If he was to be 15 points clear, yeah, won a Carabao Cup, and he's in the FA Cup quarterfinals, Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, and a Champions League semi-final. You never know. IGSC, your mindset stands are high for Liverpool, but not your team. Bare copies. Standards. What did I say about Liverpool that made the standards high? I'm saying clubs don't care about winning the Champions League again. They just care about, or shall I say the fans, as I kept saying, the fans don't care about seeing their club winning over Champions League. They just care about trolling teams that have never won it. The league is what fans want to see. That's what they keep fighting for. Yeah, that's why they're crying that they're not anywhere near challenging for a league title for a start. You know what I mean? You technically have to cry about not challenging to be in a title race before you cry about not being in a Champions League challenge. Yeah, the standard for us, you know what I mean, retain this league title and try and win the Champions League. Yeah, we do need that Champions League. I don't believe in putting a cup competition over the domestic league. Over a 38-game period. I don't believe in putting it over it. I think it should be alongside it. That's where I am. Well, let's be happy. World Cup is here. We can watch stress-free football now so this is final. I want to have Spain win it because I love Yamal. Me, I don't have no ties in none of these countries. I don't have no ties to England like that. You know what I mean? I'm just. I mean, I've always said I wouldn't mind being in a country that wins the World Cup. You know what I mean? Few returns our rivals will complain they said a Premier Farmers League or something stupid like that. Yeah, they will. They didn't have no problem when Liverpool and City were getting 90 odd points, but Arsenal retaining it would be where the line's drawn. You know what I mean? Haji Arteta will win 2 more Prems and 1 Champions League, and Luis Enrique, Don Carlo, next manager for us, and the whole league is fucked when that happens. Could be. We can definitely do the treble. I want the quad. We should go for it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave the stream here. Like, share, subscribe, comments, follow the socials, and I'll see you again in the next one. But yeah, it's been an emotional season, guys. But we're league champions, and any stream I do after that is going to be celebratory of, you know, the 2026 season. And we go again starting in August, where we try and claim our second piece of silverware in 2026 to stop City getting their 3rd silverware in 2026, so that we can listen to them talk about how the Community Shield don't count. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.
And if anyone wants to have a come at me,
Come and find me. I'm in the car park now.
because I'm a black belt in karate.
Stop the cap.
Come and have a pop.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.